Welcome to Rawson Reports Live. We have a packed show to get to. Lots going on, from grocery prices to Walmart saying the costs are rising every single week. We got a crazy scam out of Texas that's popping up elsewhere now too, where it actually traps your cash. We have some amazing pictures, and we have the suspect caught on camera by the ATM camera, literally caught in the act with a device in his hand. So you got to see that. And the police department that caught him, catching us, joining us live, and how you can protect yourself at the ATM. We have a lot. Before we get to all that, make sure to like this video. It really helps the algorithm. Subscribe to our channel. We're all about saving you money, exposing scams, ripoffs, and saving you money every single day. We also got word, and we're going to get to this, dollar store shoppers are getting richer. Yeah, the amount of people shopping at dollar stores that earn over $100,000 is going way up. There is a reason for that. And we also got some grocery prices that are coming down. Yeah, I have a few groceries that are actually coming down in price. And speaking of groceries, I have a really cool at-home egg test that I videotaped for you to see if your eggs are still good past the expiration date. It's a kind of a fun test. It takes like 15 seconds. And, you know, why throw your eggs out if they're still good? So we're going to get to all that. But I do want to start with these comments from the Walmart CEO, because this is really important. As we're talking about tariffs and we're talking about price increases, and Walmart has said, hey, we're going to try to keep prices down as much as possible. We have a list of Walmart products that have exploded in price. A couple of them went up over 50% in the past several months. So I'm going to name those names, and we're going to show you those products and what to avoid and why it's happening. But you got to hear these comments from the Walmart CEO. I mean, this kind of shook me a little bit, because Walmart's kind of where we go, and it's kind of the place that we can hide out, because they've been the ones to kind of raise prices the least as we've gone along. The Walmart CEO, and I'm quoting here, keeping our prices as low as we can for as long as we can. That doesn't sound encouraging. As we replenish inventory at post-tariff price levels, we've continued to see our costs increase each week. Now, that's an important line that I want you to pay attention to, that he's kind of foreshadowing here. This is what CEOs do when they're about to raise prices. The politicians do this too. They eke it in. They want us to get used to it a little bit. So let me repeat that. We've continued to see our costs increase each week, which we expect will continue into the third and fourth quarters, which is now through the holidays, the end of the year. Then the CFO, the chief financial officer of Walmart, went even further. The CFO said, we're wired for everyday low prices, but the magnitude of these increases is more than any retailer can absorb. Translation, get ready for more price increases. They can talk about all the rollbacks they want, and they have rolled back thousands of products, but it's going up because the manufacturers, the name brands, are charging them more, so they're raising the prices too. Now, one way out of this is to buy store brand, and let me explain why. The margins on products that are name brand products, right? Think about Walmart. They're calling Nestle, and they're saying, hey, Nestle, we want your chocolate. Nestle has their own margin, and then they want to make money on Walmart. It's an extra handout. But store brand, the great value brand at Walmart has a much larger margin on those. So when they get pushed for tariffs, they can eat it a little more before raising the price on store brand products than they can to Nestle, because the margin is so thin. As soon as any tariff hits a name brand product, boom, they have to raise the prices because they're not making any money anymore, and they have to make their stockholders happy. So this is the time right now that I want you guys to start getting used to store brands, okay? Because you're going to see the prices on those. They may rise, but they're going to rise less. They're not going to rise as often. Oh, Cheryl Hines, we're all screwed. Yeah, happy Tuesday. They're not going to rise as fast, though. So I'm trying to give you some advice here. Go for the store brands. And by the way, if you go to my YouTube channel, I just did a taste test with my daughters on the food. I did the name brands, and you can't tell the difference in most cases. So those are some alarming comments from the CEO and the CFO of Walmart, and sort of, you know, a harbinger of what's to come. But we actually have some products, some specific products that have shot up in price at Walmart already. CNBC followed prices on the same products from May and through June. And then we did our own research and followed those products through today. And some of them have gone up even more since July, I guess. So let's hit this, Mike. The Drew Barrymore Beautiful, she calls her own line Beautiful. Drew Barrymore Beautiful 12-piece pot and pan set. I think we have a picture of this. There it is. Hey. We got to figure out this program better, but hey, it's okay. I like seeing myself. So in May, it was $99. I'll come over here. In May, it was $99. Now it's $149. That is a 51% increase for these pots and pans. 51% up in just a few months. Let's go to the next one. Graco Modes Trio 3-in-1 stroller and car seat. Okay, there it is right there. Back in May, this was $199, and granted, this was on rollback. Now, $299. $299, so 50% increase. Now, there is a reason for this, and I want to talk to you about this face-to-face here. A lot of the strollers, you have to understand, a lot of the strollers and a lot of the baby gear come from China. A lot of it. I did a lot of research on this. A shocking number of baby stuff comes from China. So those are most susceptible to the tariffs. So if you have baby stuff to buy and you think things are going to get worse, I think they are. I think tariffs are going to go up even more. Buy that baby stuff now, because a lot of stores have added extra stock just in case it gets worse. So you can go in and get it now where it's going up 50%, but maybe in a month I'm talking to you and it's up 70%. So the baby stuff is up about 20% nationwide, by the way. Graco, one of the biggest makers of baby gear, says nationwide prices are already up 20% on that. All right, let's go to coffee. Coffee's really impacted, and we've talked about coffee prices going up, and they are at Walmart because of the tariffs on Brazil. We get so much of our coffee from Brazil, from Colombia. These are all countries being hit by tariffs. The Folgers Classic Roast right here at Walmart, the 40.3-ounce container. In May, $16.43. Now, $21.94. That is a price increase of 33.5% for frickin' coffee. 33.5%. Let's show the other coffee. Great Value. So this is the Great Value brand. This is a donut shop coffee. In May, it was $5.97. Now it's $8.47, an increase of 41.9%. So this is a lot of money. Now, I want to get to clothing. This is really interesting. Let's show Mike the Levi's jeans. There we go, right? The Levi's signature men's jeans, $23.98 back in May. Now it's $24.98, a 4% increase. Doesn't seem that bad, but I want to tell you, a lot of this stuff is made in, I'm looking here, Pakistan and Bangladesh. So I happen to have a pair of Levi jeans here at the house, right? And I was checking this morning, and these are made in, I was just looking, hold on a minute. These are made in Bangladesh. These are made in, but you can't read, it's really small. They make it really small. It's right at the top there. These are made in Bangladesh, and these are Levi's, as American as they come, and they're made in Bangladesh. And it got me one, so these are really susceptible to tariffs. I was trying to look at the tariffs. They're 20% on Bangladesh right now. Pakistan also, a lot of stuff comes from there. So I started going around my house to look for other clothing. I'm about to go to the gym after this. I know you can't tell, but I work out. These are the shorts I wear to the gym. So I checked to see where these are made, just for fun. Made in China. Can you see that? Wait, let me move hold on. Made in China, okay, for these shorts. And I grabbed just one of my random t-shirts. This is Goodfellow. That's the Target brand, right? Goodfellow. Here it is. Made in Indonesia. So there you go. Can you see that? Made in Indonesia. So again, these are all very, very, very susceptible to tariffs, and they're going up at Walmart and elsewhere as well. Debbie's writing what? The $2.95 GV chocolate chip morsels, a Great Value, went up to $3.63 when I purchased them last week. Yeah, things are Keep writing into the chat, by the way. We want to hear about what you're seeing out there as well, because we're all in this community together and we're all trying to save each other money. That's why we gather here live and on the replay. We read all the comments, no matter when you're reading this. Join the club and help us out. There is some good news amid all this bad news. We actually found some price decreases. How do you like that? It's a short list, but it's a list. Mike, call up the Mattel Swim Barbie. Now, I'm not a Barbie person myself, but if you are, the price in May, this cost $7.97. And as you can see now in the top right corner there, Swim Barbie is now $5.97. So it's gone down by 25%. Really cool. And a lot of talk about eggs. How much have we talked about eggs over the years, right? So these are the great value eggs, a dozen large eggs at Walmart. These were $3.47 in May. Now they've dropped to $2.72 in a few months. The percentage decrease, that's 22% down, which is really cool. Now, I do want to point this out about eggs. Eggs are still up year to year. They're up by 16%. So we're seeing we're seeing a decline now, but they went up so fast and so far and so fast that even with declines, we're still up 16% year to year on eggs. So this brought up an interesting question. So many of you have written to me and said, well, my eggs expire. How do I know if my eggs are still good? Well, first thing, I've done stuff on expiration dates, and we'll talk more about that. But there's a test you can do at your house right now to test your own eggs to see if they're still good. So they're past the expiration date. You're like, oh, crap. Everyone, your kids are yelling at you. Your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they're like, throw it out. That's disgusting. There is a way to check to see if your eggs are still good. It will literally take you 30 seconds. I have 2 tests to show you that you can do in your house right now. So Mike, roll the tape on the egg test. Here's what I want you to do. Take a few eggs. We have 2 tests that you can do at home right now. The first one, take a few eggs, bring them into a glass bowl. Put them in gently. If they go to the bottom, take a good look at this. And these are at the bottom. And by the way, these eggs expired 2 weeks ago. I just found them in my house. They expired 2 weeks ago. If they go to the bottom, that means they're good. Bad eggs will float to the top of the water. Good eggs will sink to the bottom. And you can see these bad boys are a couple of weeks expired and they're still good. So you can have them. Here's the second test you can do. Get a bowl just like this. Crack the egg. Put it right in like that. Here's what you're looking for. If the egg is good, and come on in here, it's going to be very thick white. You see how thick that is? Okay, I can move it around. It's very thick. And the yolk is going to be firm. So you can take a fork and poke at that yolk. Look, it's not puncturing. It's really, really firm and nice. This is a good egg. These are from the same batch. Expired. They're still good. 3 to 5 weeks. Just keep it in the fridge. And people are, maybe at your house, they're going to be like, you're so cheap, but who cares? Those eggs are still good. So why would you throw them out weeks after? Speaking of Walmart, by the way, there's some more good news at Walmart. They've just added some perks I want to get to real quick. And by the way, this crazy scam is coming up at ATMs. It's called cash trapping. We have our police officer standing by and video and pictures. And before you go to the ATM or your bank today, you need to see how the thieves are trying to steal your cash now. That is coming up in just a moment. But one other note about Walmart, they've just added a perk actually. They really want you into Walmart Plus, right? That's like their whole thing. They want you in Walmart Plus. So they've just added free Peacock streaming, the Peacock streaming service, or Paramount Plus. You can actually switch between the two. You can say, I want to do Peacock for free for 90 days. Then every 90 days, you can switch back to the other one. Then you want Paramount Plus. So you're watching a series on Paramount Plus. Then you're like, I'm done with that. Now let me go over to Peacock. So that's free with Walmart Plus. They just added that. And by the way, Peacock is raising its prices to $10.99 a month. So if you go with the Walmart Plus, you get the Walmart Plus perks, and you're saving about $132 a year on Peacock. So that's not bad. And by the way, a couple of other grocery prices that are getting cheaper because you guys are writing into the chat, more groceries. So I actually happen to have a couple of other groceries that are going down. This is at Walmart and everywhere. Believe it or not, butter is down 17%. Give us a heart attack, baby. Butter's going down 14% right now. The reason for that is butter suppliers have produced more in anticipation of problems. So now they have a surplus of butter. So now the demand hasn't kept up with supply. So now butter's getting cheaper. And listen to this. I don't fully understand why this is. I've tried to look everywhere to see why, but cookies are down 50%. I don't know. With egg prices, I'm trying to think what's in cookies, right? Like flour, right? I don't make eggs, chocolate. Those things seem like they're going up, but the price of cookies is coming down 50%. And holding steady right now on grocery prices, milk, peanut butter, and rice are all down as well. And as I said, shop for the store brands. That's what I want you guys to start doing right now. That's the Rossman Report's advice to you. Start shopping for store brands because you're going to see a lot less price change in all of those. A couple other things about your money before we get to this big scam. Dollar General is now warning of price increases. Let me get my glasses out because I want to get this right from the CEO. This is the CEO of Dollar General. Because, you know, we've talked about Dollar Tree raising their prices, and we were like, we shouldn't even call them a dollar store anymore. Well, guess what? Dollar General may be getting in on the act and raising its prices too. The CEO just said tariffs have begun to result in some price increases. Now, they say they're proactive in their sourcing and they have low exposure to imports and tariffs to help keep most prices down, but not all prices. They're trying to keep seasonal items under $1, even in the face of tariffs, but they say they may not be able to hold out much longer. Things are going to get more expensive. And by the way, as we get into the holidays and everyone starts buying stuff and demand goes up, that's when you're going to start seeing prices to explode, okay? And this is going to hit Dollar General especially. Most of their shoppers are low-income shoppers. We've talked about how Dollar Generals are mostly in rural areas. This is if you're in a rural area right now, you're low income. This is going to hit you most because of this next story about more rich people are shopping at dollar stores. But what they found is lower income folks are buying their essentials at dollar stores, right? You're buying your food at dollar stores. You're buying towels, paper towels, toilet paper, the things you need every day at dollar stores. So when they start raising the prices, especially Dollar General, Dollar Tree's more in suburban and cities. Dollar General, their whole business model is small communities. You're really going to get hurt by this. You are really, really going to get hurt by this. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that. And by the way, the other thing to keep an eye on right now, and we're going to do a whole show about this, is shrinkflation, where these stores suddenly start giving you less for the same price. Oh, we're not raising prices. We're not raising prices, but we've taken less ice cream, less sheets of toilet paper, less paper towel. That is going to start happening too, but I'm watching that for you. That is not happening on my watch without me coming right here and telling you about it, because that really pisses me off when they're not transparent about it. And let's be honest, they're really never transparent about that, barely ever. So stock up. If you're in a low-income household and you're relying on the dollar store, stock up on essentials right now, because this is going to get worse as we get into the end of the year. Buy more toilet paper. It's not going to go to waste. Buy more paper towel. Buy the things you need and buy the food you can freeze right now and keep it. So that's my advice. And it turns out there are more, new study just came out, more rich people are shopping at dollar stores. This is pretty crazy. People that make over $100,000 are now driving 2/3 of customer growth at Dollar Tree. Isn't that crazy? Dollar Tree said they got 2.6 million new customers, many of them making over $100,000. Why is that? I looked into it. So in a recent study, I just talked about how most low-income people, most low-income families are buying the essentials at dollar stores, which is very smart. It's a very smart thing to do. High net worth people making over 100,000, they're not buying the essentials at the dollar stores. The study says that they like going to dollar stores, rich people, because it's a low stakes, low guilt purchase. They're not there buying toilet paper and stuff. They're there buying the fun stuff, the stuff on the racks. They can just go walk around and shop, and it's completely low stakes. These aren't millionaires. These are people with 100,000 plus. So they have discretionary income. They're considered rich in this country, but they have a little money to spend, but they don't want to waste it. They don't like getting ripped off, and they like the feeling of getting a deal. So they go to the dollar store, not for essentials, but for the impulse buys. And that's why you're seeing more and more rich people going there. But that is pretty shocking. 2/3 of customer growth at Dollar Tree are people making over $100,000. At a Dollar General, this is pretty interesting. The high income people, the CEO came out and said, middle and high income customers are visiting stores more often, they're spending more in the stores, and they're buying more discretionary items. So this goes exactly to what I was just saying. They're buying items they don't need, but they like feeling they're getting a deal. They can walk around and just, it's a low stakes purchase and it's guilt-free. All right, now I want to get to the big scam of the day. This one's crazy. It's called ATM cash trapping. And they call it cash trapping because that's literally what these thieves do. They put a device on the ATM. These are outside ATMs that you drive up to in some cases, and it traps the cash. So, like you type in your PIN number, it starts making that whooshing sound. I'll do that again for you later. And it starts spitting out your cash. It's like the best sound ever because you're like, give me my money. The money never comes out because they've put a device that looks like it's part of the machine over the little slot that gives you the money, so the cash gets trapped in it. You pull away like, what the hell? The thief is usually sitting in the parking lot, drives up, takes off the little device, and pulls all your cash out and gets out of there. This just happened in Plano, Texas, and police were all over it. Wait until you see this guy's an idiot because ATMs obviously have cameras. This guy's busted right on camera. We have our police officer from Plano, Texas standing by. But first, I want to show you the video from the local NBC station in Dallas. Plano is a suburb of Dallas, about how this scam works. Take a look.
I mean, it looks just like a part of the ATM. And I just thought it was going to be a door that was going to pop up and get me the money.
Jonathan Hoag's $700 withdrawal wasn't stuck in a faulty ATM machine.
I was just totally perplexed. I didn't know what to think was happening.
Ray McCormick's $100 wasn't caught in a broken cash machine either.
The cash didn't come out.
They were the unsuspecting victims of cash trapping. Here's how it works. We're pulling up to this ATM. Everything looks normal. The victim will come and get cash. The machine, there you go, the sound that it's working. But in cash trapping, nothing happens right here. Okay, so instead of getting your money like this, as normal, cash trapping, nothing happens. See, crooks put in a device that catches your cash.
Devices that they're using fits perfectly over the dispenser mechanism of the ATM machine.
Yeah, so do you see that right there? You see that little device? And call up a couple of pictures of this, Mike. We have some photos of, look at that. So that's the device right there. You wouldn't think anything of that, but the slot is supposed to be kind of right where the metal is in the middle. That's where it's supposed to come out. So this is what it's actually supposed to look like. Our friends at Plano Police just sent this to us this morning. This is what it's supposed to look like. And this is the device that they put over it. How crazy is that? But you wouldn't know the difference. Look, I mean, the metal looks real and everything, but this guy got really unlucky. This thief, this scam artist. There he is right there. Roll the tape, Mike. Roll the videotape of how he got caught.
Was living. Ionut Iova, a Romanian national, is also wanted by Hungarian authorities and police in Canada, with one alleged cash trapping fraudster himself finally trapped. Authorities urge continued vigilance.
Look at that guy at a Central. Call up his picture again, Mike. I mean, this guy's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, putting that device. I think is there another photo of him where he actually has the device in his hand? Yeah, there it is in the bottom right corner. I mean, that's really crazy. That's nuts. All right, let's bring in Jerry Minton, Plano, Texas Police. Jerry, you there? Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Please don't call me sir. I'll call you sir. You're the one in uniform. You're the one who caught this scammer basically red-handed. First of all, how'd you catch him?
It was really good police work. And just to clarify, I didn't catch him. The detectives working the case that actually did. And they get all the credit for this. We got the report initially in mid to late July of this year. And as you said, they had real good, clear video, still pictures of the suspect. And we partner up really well with other state, local, and federal law enforcement agencies. And they were a big part on getting this person identified through recognition software.
Like facial recognition?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So Big Brother's watching, and it helps in some cases, right? We shouldn't always just be scared of it. It can help catch these bad guys.
Absolutely.
Was this like a routine traffic stop? How'd you get him? Like, how'd you find him, and how long did it take?
Well, we didn't pick him up. After we had worked the case and we had developed an arrest warrants for the individual, I believe that there was some indications that he was living in the Houston area, about 4 hours south of Dallas. And Texas Department of Public Safety actually pulled him over and arrested him on a traffic stop.
That's incredible. Have you seen this before? Have you seen this cash trapping before where it traps the cash?
No, sir. This is the very first time that it has come across our desks here in Plano. It is my understanding, though, that this has been occurring probably for the past year and a half to 2 years up in Canada and has slowly worked its way down.
So how do we protect ourselves? I mean, I guess what I would immediately go to is don't go to the ATM, just go into the teller to try to get your money. But let's be honest, we're all in a rush. We like using ATMs. We like pulling up to them.
Right. Going to a teller is one option. But it's like we tell everybody else for pretty much anytime you're out in the public, is be aware of your surroundings, not only for suspicious persons or packages or anything, but also if you're going up to an ATM machine or another device that dispenses something, check the device out. Pull on the card swipe device to see if it comes off in your hand. We've been telling people that for years because of the skimming devices.
Right, like at gas stations. There was always
absolutely,
gas stations.
Absolutely. And they've been able to put those on ATMs as well. So, pull on all the devices. If anything comes off in your hand, there's a problem with it. If you don't see a door on an ATM machine that's going to dispense your cash, there's a good chance that there's a problem. And obviously, in this case, if you hear the machine working like it's supposed to, you hear the whirring noise where your cash is being dispensed and nothing comes out, immediately call the bank representatives. Sometimes there may be a phone number, an 800 phone number on the side of the machine that you can call for a technician to come out. The other twist on this, and you briefly mentioned it a while ago, these individuals are in the parking lot watching.
Yeah.
So if you use the ATM machine and you drive off, they're coming in right behind you as soon as there's an open slot to remove the device, take your cash out, and then they're going back and parking.
Right. This isn't high tech. This is a low tech scheme. They're not sitting in Indonesia somewhere. They're right there watching you, and they need to take the cash out physically when you pull away.
Correct. And anytime that you feel like the device that the machine may have been tampered with, like I said, call the bank, call a technician, call the police department, call your local police officers, have them respond out to the scene because, like I said, in this case, they're watching. They are in the parking lot, not too far away.
And I think you brought up such an interesting point. I think the whole takeaway is if you don't see a slot, like the first thing we should all be doing when we go up to ATMs now is look for a slot. And if you don't see it, there's an issue.
Yes, sir. And on this particular device in the ATM that they were using, that device covered both the cash dispenser and the cash deposit drawers. So you couldn't do anything with that ATM machine except log in and check your balance or try to get money, which was obviously being trapped.
This is nuts. All right. So it's something else we have to keep an eye on, right, officer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. And by the way, we were talking yesterday and I said, if this happens to me, if this happens to our viewers, a lot of us are reluctant to call police. We don't want to bother you guys. It doesn't necessarily feel like an emergency. Is it okay to call? If we hear the whooshing and the thing doesn't come out, I guess the first thing would be talk to the bank manager, but is it okay to call the police as well? Do you want to hear about stuff like this going on?
Absolutely. Yeah. We never would have caught this guy if someone had made the phone call. So yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here 24/7. Give us a call.
All right. Very good. Jerry Minton, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And congratulations to you and your detectives for great police work and hunting this guy down, who was wanted for other stuff too. I mean,
Absolutely.
This guy is a career criminal, it sounds. Suspect.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So there you have it. Just something else we have to worry about at the ATM. Thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Join the chat. Yeah, I tell me about it. Cheryl just wrote in, man, we can't win. We are here for you all the time. Please write in, by the way, any questions you have, anything you want answered on this show. This is your show. This is our show together. We're doing this. I'm figuring out what you want. You're trying to figure me out. I'm still trying to figure myself out. And so write in, tell me the kind of stuff you want to see. Pitch me story ideas. We'll do them for you. We'll see you right here live. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again on Thursday. Bye-bye.